Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Listen, today I'm going to be talking about my first fiction book that I did with AI. So stick around, I'll be right back.
Why do 70% of aspiring authors never publish their work? Because they don't have bookpreneur. Whether you're dreaming of publishing your memoir, a children's book, or the next great novel, Bookpreneur is your go-to source. Our weekly newsletter and video show offer step-by-step guidance and insider tips to help you navigate the publishing world. Don't let your masterpiece stay hidden. Join the Bookpreneur community today and start turning pages into profit. Subscribe now at www.bookpreneur.com.
Welcome back. Welcome back. My name is Audrey Bell Kearney, and I am the bookpreneur. For those of you who don't know me, if this is your first time to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to be with you today. If you have not been following the show, follow the show. I have been working on my first fiction book. I am an author of probably about 7-ish business books, nonfiction books. I've been writing since 1998, and I decided that I wanted to do fiction. Only because of all the great writing tools out there. So I recently started on this journey of doing my first fiction book using some writing tools, and I'm excited about that. Now, I don't proclaim to be a fiction writer. I'm not. I am a fiction creator, which means I can take some tools and make some stuff happen. That's what that means. But here's the exciting part about that. I'm not a fiction writer, but I can use these tools, and so can anybody else who want to tell stories. I recently came across something called star seeds. And so I'm a big woo-woo kind of person. Like, I'm the person that believe in the stars and the universe and all that kind of stuff. I believe in that stuff, right? Because there are so many things on our earth that are so unexplainable. Like, we just can't explain them. As much as we try, we cannot explain them. So I believe in the stars. I believe in the universe. I believe in God. I believe in all of those things that I cannot see. But I believe in them. So I heard about star seeds, and I was like, a star seed? Then I was like, you know what? Let me find out, which star seed am I? Well, come to find out, I am a star seed. And okay, so I subscribe to being a star seed. I'm a star seed, and I am from the star Lyra, Lyra. And so I'm reading about these star seeds and all these things. I'm like, wow, that's really interesting. And here's what made me discover I was from the one called Lyra. Well, because everything is said about Lyra, it was pretty much almost exactly who I am. And I was thought that was pretty interesting. So, but it triggered something. I was like, I want to write a book about that, right? Then I started to think, I want to write a whole series of books about this whole starseed thing. Then I started to think about, the new earth and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, I subscribe to all of that woo-woo stuff. I do. And I subscribe to the new earth, and I subscribe to the star seeds, and I subscribe to the stars. I subscribe to all of that. But there are a lot of people like me who do. So I was like, this is pretty interesting. And I decided I wanted to write a series of books. And so I started to, now I'm not a fiction writer. I'm not. However, I am a person who like AI and understands that it could do a lot of things for you. And when I'm not doing all these fun things that I'm doing right now, I'm the president of a women's chamber of commerce here in Georgia. And I help small businesses learn how to leverage all of these great tools to market their business. But I decided to learn how to use the same tools to help me become more creative in writing my book, my fiction book. So my first fiction book just got submitted to Amazon today. I'm so excited. Got submitted to Amazon today. But here's what I found interesting about the process, right? What I found interesting about the process was I had this whole big prompt that I put in about what I wanted the book to be about, what the character's name was, the storyline, and all this great stuff. I had all this stuff, and I put in this giant prompt. The prompt was huge, and I said I wanted to be this many pages, this many chapters, all of that stuff. What was interesting about the process, it went really fast because AI is really fast like that. But what was interesting about the process, when I got back the manuscript and I went through the whole thing, I was like, okay, we need to take that out, remove it. I became an editor, which was, this is like the thing. I was like, I've been doing more editing than writing. And I was like, that's pretty interesting, because now I'm going through the manuscript. I want to take this out. I want to change this. I need to change the timeline. I need to change the characters. I need to make it start here, make it in there. I became an editor. Don't proclaim to be an editor by trade, not even close, because all of my books were edited by somebody else. However, with this book, my book is called my book is so funny because it's like it's the Lyran Legacy. The Starseed Chronicles began. So my books are called the Starseed Chronicles. There is a series of 8 books that's going to be in the series in the Chronicles. The first one starts off with the Lyran Legacy, which talks about Lyra, and where how it started and how my character got to Earth and all that good stuff. So it's called the Lyran Legacy. The Starseed Chronicles began. So when I looked at the storyline, I realized I left out something. So I had to go back, create new chapters. I needed chapters to be like this. I need to tell this story, that story. It was a really good experience, and I realized that although I'm not a fiction writer, what I realized is that it made me think more, right? Normally, I am very I used to think I was really creative because I come up with so many great ideas, but people started to tell me I was really analytical. And I was like, me? Analytical? Because that I didn't think of myself as being analytical. Now I know I definitely wasn't artsy. Like I definitely am not artsy. Like I want to be artsy, but I'm not artsy. Right? I've tried to be artsy. I took art. I took sculpting in college. I got an F. Who gets an F in clay? Me. I got an F in sculpting. So I've always wanted to be artsy, but I'm just not artsy. However, I've been told I'm very analytical. So when a problem is presented before me, my mind automatically goes to a solution. It's not creative. Like it doesn't come up with characters and like story plots and things like that. That's not how I function. But with this process, I was able to read the first draft and say, okay, I like this, but let's change this. Let's move this. Let's tell a story this way. Let's create this timeline that way. Let's do it this kind of way. I was able to go through there and pull stuff out and change stuff. I felt so alive. I felt really alive that I was able to put my spin on this story that I came up with, because I came up with this whole thought like, okay, I want this story to be told. This is a story I want to be told. And when I decided that that was a story I wanted to be told, I created this giant prompt for it, put it in the chat GPT to prompt it out. And chat GPT gave me back the outline. Now, what was interesting, I used a GPT on chat GPT. I used a book writing GPT on chat GPT, which was kind of cool because the GPT asked me some really good questions like, do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want that? And I was like, okay, I like this. So it asked me questions that I hadn't even thought to put inside of my prompt. So I created the prompt I want, which was a giant prompt. When I fed the prompt into the GPT, the book writing GPT, that GPT then turned around and asked me questions. It asked me a series of questions that I had to answer. What do you want? How do you want the tone to be? Who was it for? And I created the books so they can be for anybody because the stories are really interesting. And according to history and legacy, Lyra is a star system that really did once exist. And there are people here on Earth, who are from the constellation of Lyra. And so just like Orion and Sirius and all of those, Sirius and all of those, the Pleiadians, all of those, Pleiades, there are people here on Earth among us who are from those star systems. So I don't know. I don't know. I just know that I found it intriguing and fascinating, and I felt like it'll be a good story to tell. And it's set like in modern day time. So I had this whole thought about how I wanted it to be set, who I wanted the main character to be. And so when I put in the prompt, the GPT asked me some more questions that I had to put in some more information to make the story flow. I thought it was so interesting, and I finished and I uploaded to Amazon. So of course now I'm waiting for Amazon to come back to me. Now I could tell you I'm a big picture thinker. So I've done the first book. I have 7 left to go. My goal is to release one every quarter until I do all 8. And then my second goal is to turn one of them into a movie. Well, the first one into a movie, then the second one, then the third. So it's going to be, I see this as being a movie franchise. Like I see this as something that keeps going and keeps going, like Star Wars or Avatars or what's up, Harry Potter. Like that's what I see for this series. I see it going and going and going and going. And I'm in Atlanta. I'm in the Atlanta area where our film industry is really booming. I think during the pandemic, the film industry did about $9 billion in Atlanta. So I'm in a place where the creativity is just flowing. I feel like I'm in the right place at the right time. So I'm excited. I just wanted to, it's Sunday, I could be just relaxing right now, but I'm not. I wanted to come on because I was so excited about, oh my God, the cover is the bomb. Like the cover is nice. So for those of you who don't know, the Lyrans are people who were supposed to be somewhat like cat people. Now this is interesting, right? So when I found out about this, I said to my husband, that explains a lot of things about me. If I'm from Lyra, if I'm a Lyran, then that explains my ears. Look at my ears. These are my real ears. These are my real ears, right? Here's the funny thing. They're different. So look at this ear. So you see what I'm saying? So when I look, this one is that way. And I was born like this. And this one is that way. And I have these eyes, right? And so Lyrans are supposed to be cat people. So I said to my husband, that explains my ears. That explains my eyes. People always say, oh, you got chinky eyes. Well, when you look at a cat got chinky eyes. You look at these ears, the ears are special. So my mom told me when I was born, my ear was bent down like this. And as I got older, it came up like this. So that's my real ear. But they're different. Like they're just different. I remember being at work one time, and there was a Burger King. I worked in a hospital in Newark, New Jersey, and we were at lunch, and inside of the hospital was Burger King, and I was standing in line, and someone was standing behind me, and they was like, "Look at her ears." They were looking at my ears, and I always say to my husband, "I'm an alien, right?" What's interesting about that is I may just be a alien for real. My ears say I am, but anyway, that excited me just to be able to tell those stories, and to now that the book is done, and now that it's going through the approval process, I'm waiting for the proof to come back so I can read the proof and see if I need to change anything else. Here's the real work. How are we going to sell that baby? How are we going to sell that puppy? What am I going to be doing to sell the book now that it's done? That's what the creativity part. I had a good time doing it. I'm looking forward to doing the next seven books in the series. Now the work begins. How am I going to sell it? Because that's where the real work comes. So, I'm working on my marketing plan, which I'm going to finish up today. And I'll come back. So if you guys don't want to miss anything I'm doing with the book, go to thebookpreneur.com, subscribe to the newsletter, and just follow what I'm doing. Also, go to the YouTube channel at The Bookpreneur, and follow the channel as well. Videos will be there. I'm going to be documenting my marketing processes, like what I'm doing. I'm going to be sharing like how much money each process is made. And I got 252 ideas on how to market. I know it sounds crazy, but I want a New York Times bestseller. I've said that before. I stick by that. I want a New York Times bestseller. In order for me to get a New York Times bestseller, I know I have to put the book out there. I have to share the story, and it has to be a good book. I really believe it's a good book. Like I sat there and I read through the book, and I was like, this is a good book. Like it's a really good book. And I thought that, it would be entertaining, which is what, if the book is not educating, it should be entertaining and enlightening. This book is going to be entertaining and enlightening because, the story of the Lyran people is that they were people who brought entrepreneurship, technology, and unity and peace and love and all that good stuff, which is all the things that I subscribe to, all of that. So that's why when they were saying, this is where you're from, because this is what the history is saying, I'm like, okay, I can get with that. So I don't know. All I know is I'm having a good time so far with the project, and I'm looking forward to coming back and sharing with you guys what I'm doing to now market the book. I got about 252 marketing ideas. Will they all work? I have no idea. What I do know is I'm going to try probably plenty of them. So I'll be coming back to share with you what I'm doing to actually market the book, sell the book. I'll share my revenue goals with you. My revenue goals is like, of course, everybody wants to make $1 million from their book, but I want to be on the New York Times bestseller, the USA bestseller, Amazon bestseller. I want some book awards, all of that good stuff, all of that stuff that makes you feel good, right? Yeah, those are the things I want. The money, yes, I want the money too, but I also want to be able to use the book to make people think, because there is a such thing called a new earth. Go look it up, the new earth. That's what my book series is fighting for, the new earth. So excited about that. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Also, subscribe to the newsletter by going to thebookpreneur.com. I'll see you in the next episode. Until next time, my friends, until next time, make it a great day. Bye, everybody.